This is a short video that we're bringing to you. I'm Brother Jamal here on my YouTube channel. I want to bring this to you in regards of the things that are going on in Washington, D.C., the things that are taking place, and the things that are happening as we look at all of this in perspective. And this is the time that we're looking at. It's a time for us to be aware of our surroundings. We should be conscious of what's happening. We should at least try to check the news. I don't necessarily say you got to check it every day, but you should at least be up on what's happening and what's going on and how this is going to impact and affect you. And trust me, it will. Every single bit of it that's happening is going to impact and affect you. And we should not be so naive about this, especially in the black community. We should not be naive about what's happening. This is a white supremacist movement that we see happening. We saw the first stage of this just a couple of days ago, and what happened in the Capitol, where they were trying to actually give a tally in the state capitol on the votes and to give a confirmation on the fact that the election was over with. It was a done deal, and the next president, Joe Biden, who had actually won the election. So the white supremacist movement is what you saw happen, is what you saw go on. They attempted to disrupt the whole process through a terrorist act. That's what it was. That's what we should be calling. I know people not calling it. They have every kind of excuse to call it everything else but what it really is. It was a terrorist act, domestic terrorism inside the U.S. This is exactly what Brother Malcolm was talking about when he said the chickens are coming home to roost. This is a prime example of the statement that he made when they got so upset about it. But the statement fits the situation that happened here in this country. And so around the world, the rest of the world begins to get a second look at America. They saw the first look at America when George Floyd was murdered, and all of the murders by law enforcement that has taken place since that time. They saw a first look at America and the disease that America has had from the inception of this so-called democracy. So around the world, the rest of the world begins to see the two Americas. They began to see that. They saw one America when George Floyd was murdered and all of the brutality of police murdering black people since that time. This was the second part of America. They saw the white supremacist movement. See? They saw it in full-fledged in a domestic terrorist act. That's what they saw. So anyone outside the U.S. that may think that that's not two Americas, yes, it is two Americas. Because everyone is talking. Everyone, without a shadow of a doubt, is saying the same thing. Black people, if this had been a gathering of black people, protesting, marching, demonstrating, you name it, first of all, everyone is saying they wouldn't have got that close even to any government facilities without being gunned down, without being shot. No tear gas, no rubber bullets, gunned down, shot. SWAT team, mercenaries, National Guards, you name it. They would have been called in, been a done deal. When in fact you see the opposite of what happened. So the world outside of America gets a chance to see the first phase of George Floyd being murdered, and so many murders have taken place since that time by law enforcement in this country. This is the second phase where you get a chance to see the white supremacist movement in this country and how it represents this whole idea of terrorism. That's what it represents. So to all of those black people out there who support this president, who supports this whole movement of making America great, crazy, insane house Negroes walking around with these hats on, breaking their neck to be at a Republican Party, a convention, or whatever it is. Where are those house Negroes at now? Because I have not seen any of them. You ask a simple question, where are they at now? Because all those people who was running their mouth and talking about the Republican Party, talking about being a black conservative, where are they at now? Where are they hiding at now? Because we have not seen, heard, I don't know, maybe they have got their passports together, maybe they've left the country, I don't know. But they must have went into hiding to not be seen, recognized, heard from anything. Because from what I've seen, I haven't heard anything from any of those black conservative house Negroes who were so Republican, who was walking around with the red hats on. Where are they at now? Ain't heard from them, y'all. You know? The last thing I want to mention, too, is that anyone that's having any plans on going to Washington, D.C. on the 20th, I would not advise it, because the next phase of what you're going to see is this white supremacist movement is going to try to disrupt January the 20th. They're going to try to disrupt it, and they might succeed, they might, Allah knows, but they're going to try something real big probably on the 20th. And so people should be conscious of that. They should be aware of that. See? Not be so in the dark, in sleep. These people are going to try a second phase of this whole, once again, remember this is a white supremacist movement led by one dictator in this country, who is the president now, led by this dictator. The white supremacist movement. That's what it is, y'all. So just be aware, be conscious of your surroundings, be conscious of the time, and be aware of what's going on. And especially in the black community, you should be conscious of your surroundings, the time, and what is going on.